buckwheat is a superfood. We want 500,000 tons. Kana tichidya for health, tidye sadza nemuriwo. 15 hectares. We want now it to fortify all our meal with buckwheat meal.
Sir, Mr. Mugari, vanfunga makaona mama response akaitika pa buckwheat. What do you want to say? Nima response makasangana pa nyaya buckwheat.
Yes, farmers, let's go buckwheat. This is a crop that has very low capital input, but it's a high value crop, buckwheat. You can see we have a huge field of about 15 hectares of buckwheat. This crop is about 9 weeks old now, and we already have grain. So we are expecting about the yield for this particular plot should be around 2.5 to 3 tons per hectare. So we are expecting at the very least something like 40 tons of grain from this plot. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this crop is so important because I can tell you that we didn't apply any fertilizer here because of the red soils.
Okay.
The red soils are fertile enough to sustain buckwheat. And we did very good land preparation. As you can see, there are no weeds, basically no weeds. Yeah, because buckwheat discourages weeds from growing underneath it. So you can see that if you take one plant, right? So this plant, it was like one seed. But when you count the total number of seeds that are produced by one plant, last time we counted one, it had over 1,500. So you can see the multiplication from one seed to 1,500 seeds in 12 weeks, 12 to 18 weeks. That's a very good return. You cannot get such a return by investing in a bank or something, So that's why agriculture pays off. Especially if farmers avoid the makoronyera or the third parties. If they get the real value for their crops, farmers should be well-to-do people because of they are involved in the multiplication. Remember, the Bible says, "Be fruitful and multiply." And subdue the earth.
Okay.
Yes. So God is really a God of multiplication. From one seed, one grain to 1,500. Yeah. So what other multiplication do you need?
So you mean maybe if you get 1 kg, you can actually harvest thousands of kgs?
Yes, 1,000 kgs. Because that's what it is. I mean, if one grain potentially produces 1,000 to 1,500, it means if you have 1 kg, it potentially produces 1 kg times that. Although, of course, depends,
another factor.
Yeah, but generally that's where you get. I'm just trying to say here, plants. God puts a multiplication factor in plants, and that's why He says these things must grow first the blade, then the ear. After that, the full corn in the ear. Then comes the harvest.
Okay.
So it's God who provides that plants should develop from that little shoots. The blade. First the blade, then the ear. After that, the full corn in the ear. And then comes the harvest. So God is amazing in His dealings. So that's why I encourage everyone, like all Africans must be farmers. We've got land. Look at this vast piece, tracts of land which is not being used. And people are rushing to the cities.
That's
looking for what? So we are failing to utilize that which is in our hand. God said to Moses, "What is it that is in your hand?" Africa, what is it that is in your hand?
Okay.
We've got land in our hand, and we've got these resources in our hand. Remember, I showed you honey,
Yeah,
producing honey big time. All these, in all those trees, we have bees.
Okay.
So we're gonna collect buckwheat honey from those bees. Can you see the bees collecting?
Yeah. Seeing them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's subduing the earth, have dominion over the birds of the air, over the fish of the sea, everything. So this is what we Africans should do. And we must not look down upon it. And we must, chase out, because we can supply the world with organic food, which is not contaminated with pesticides, with heavy metals, organic, and we can put a price on it. And watch where the world is going because of this challenge of climate change. Very soon, Europe will be unable to produce its own food because of climate change. And some parts of the world will fail to produce their own food. And so Africa should come in then. But we must be prepared now to supply the world with fruits, to supply the world with grain, to supply the world with so you see this buckwheat that you see now in Zimbabwe. I started with a handful like this 2013 to multiply buckwheat, and now everybody's talking about buckwheat.
Yeah.
But had I not taken time to reproduce from a handful, now the grain has filled the country.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there is no other sources of seed that is coming from that is found in
buckwheat had gone extinct completely. It had gone extinct until I stumbled on that handful for buckwheat, which I started wherever you go, like where it used to be in Manika Land, it used to be in Mashingo, in Mash West, particularly Zoa area. Okay, Mash West. When you go there, there's buckwheat. And then you ask them what happened, they don't know. It went extinct because people were not very interested in the crop. I think we should be wise enough not to discard crops that are important, especially for health. So buckwheat is a superfood. Wheat is not a superfood.
Okay.
Buckwheat is a superfood, high in protein, high in antioxidant. That's why now even the growth of the farming of buckwheat worldwide, if you go to America, if you go to Eastern Europe, if you go to Asia, like buckwheat is a native crop of China.
Okay.
Yeah, but even in those regions, they are increasing its production because of the antioxidant content, because of the nutritional value.
Okay.
So we must not discard those crops. I understand how farmers are influenced by prices of things, but this crop was farmed as basically a subsistence on a subsistence level by many farmers in Zimbabwe. It was never taken to commercial level. I don't know why. That's why we want now it to fortify all our meal with buckwheat meal. So that when you're eating sadza with, say, cabbages, your protein is in the sadza because you mix with buckwheat flour.
Okay. So do we have carbohydrates here?
Yes.
And protein?
Very high carbohydrate content, very high protein content is about 15%.
So is it possible maybe to survive eating breakfast with the...
Yes. I survive on buckwheat products myself because being diabetic, this is the lowest.
Eating meat, maybe just eating...
Yeah.
Do you have enough proteins for the day?
Yes, because this one is, like I said, 15%, and it has all essential amino acids.
Okay.
Lysine and others, all essential amino acids are found in buckwheat. Mineral salts, especially zinc, it has 25% zinc. This is
I think zinc is one of the challenges that the vegetarians are getting.
Yeah, this is a superfood. If you Google and you want to know superfoods, buckwheat is one of them. And so for our own health needs, we need this crop. So that's why we're hunting for markets like Japan uses buckwheat. It's actually part of its staple food, buckwheat noodles.
Okay.
So they want we send someone to Dubai to attend the Gulf Foods in February. They said, look guys, we want 500,000 tons of buckwheat. So we don't have at the moment. Okay. So we need to scale up our production. And the advantage that this crop is not attacked by weevils. So now 40 years. I forgot. What more do you want?
Maybe other people were asking if we are not getting the same challenge that we got on other things that came in the also issue beans
castor beans
achiti zvakawanda zvakurudzirwa vakarima kuna kukazowanika market vanhu zvangogara. What's your take?
Well, my question is, do you eat castor bean oil yourself?
No.
Okay. Yeah. I know Zuta, people ate them. Recently in March, 15 to 20 March, I was in Pakistan. We went to Pakistan. Do you know Takaona kune zvihuta delicacy ikoko restaurants zvihuta.
All right.
Yeah, it was so interesting to me. Delicacy. So I think someone introduced them from Pakistan, India, there about zvihuta. I don't know why they died down. Maybe because
kura pazviri vakatanga kutaura kuti zvinorapa chiyonwa mhanyira pavhalu yakakura.
Yeah, but people didn't do their homework properly. Okay, and you cannot equate this buckwheat grain to zvihuta. Because this is direct food that is needed by every individual. In fact, to buckwheat because it's very little compared to the health needs, to the needs of Zimbabwe, to the market. That's why we need to grow even the internal market here buckwheat. Let's feed their own buckwheat as well. Before we start talking about exporting, and if you're talking about exporting, just send a sample of your organic buckwheat. It's wanted everywhere. If we had 500,000 tons of buckwheat, I talk to the exporter right now. So we need to build those stocks.
So maybe it's satambotara kuti udaona kutengesa kana kuti ku GMB kana kuna buyer kutorima kuchikapamba. That's the first thing.
That's the first thing.
So which means that this is fanana nezvana I'll fail it. So you never fail.
I mean, it can't. In fact, you know what? It's quite interesting. I don't know Zoti. I'm told kuti chibage. Murunga akatanga chibage chakabva ku Brazil. Chibage sadza chibage rakabva ku Brazil.
Okay.
Hanzi murunga parakauya muno muchibage chachiri chemombe. It's for cattle feed. It was brought here for cattle feed. That's why I find kuti varunga vadye chibage cheche. Vanodya ndechemombe. Murunga akatanga kufidha kupa ration yevashandi vake hanzi akasungwa. Akasungwa muno kuti ruba, but iko zvinezvi everyone ari kudya sadza rechibage. Inini I tell people, who care to listen to me, usadya sadza rechibage chisina zvimwe zvakatoederwa imomo, haridyiwe. It's not fit for human consumption, especially sadza rakashurwa, rakabviswa kuti makanda kunze rakaenzwa rinonzi ngwerevere kana palenda. But refined maize haidyiwi. That thing is not fit for human consumption. Those are diabetes. I'm a researcher in diabetes. There's incidence of diabetes. It's not even affecting even little obese young boys and girls. You see, it used to affect only old people. Yeah, but it's because of this idea. And my Africans don't know every family, sadza nemuriwo. That idea of that habit, yes, sadza nemuriwo, it's an unhealthy thing.
What do you
sadza nemuriwo?
Muriwo mutando.
Chero muriwo. Kana tichidya for health, tidye sadza nemuriwo. Tinodya breakfast kana tinodya lunch. Ine zvinhu zvakasiyana siyana. Arongozva. But maAfricans ndosaka tiri kurwara zvakanyanya because tikuita zvesadza nemuriwo. Aenda notsvaga muriwo. Every time pane sadza, stima resadza rakadai. That thing is not good. That is huge starch in green. It's not healthy. Yeah, no. So that's unhealthy. So our eating habits as African, itori bad pachezva. Handizivi kuti ndiani hazo akatanga kuintroduce zvesadza nemuriwo. ini ndikauya kumba kwavo kuti gaiti kubikira sadza nemuriwo aiwa tinofanira kudya chikafu right chakamikiswa zvinhu zvamafrutsu ndosaka kuti ngatirime mafrutsu ya uri kudya chikafu hakuna zvonzi sadza zvinoitwa kuta kuafrica chete ndosaka uchiona utano hwemaafricans ndosaka uchiona kuti maafricans anoda zvinhu zviri easy chibage ndo chakaita mbiri whoever brought chibage munomu iko zvinezvi vanhu vese vanongoita zvechibage but vakasiya mhuka ini ndakaita research pandakaita masters I did a research in grains zviyo mhunga mapfunde ndakaita research ya zviyo mhunga mapfunde chibage nechicken and chips those things. So what I would do, I would take zviyo nemuriwo wacho ndozviblenda ndo extract what we call phytochemical compounds. These are compounds that prevent degenerative diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure and so forth. So I would then characterize, I would extract from each of those and that blender and that extractor ndo determine the quantities of phytochemical compounds. Ndakaona kuti zviyo is number 1 in terms of phytochemical compounds, followed by mhunga, then mapfunde, then chibage. Chicken and chips are zero antioxidants or zero phytochemical compounds. Chibage very little. Kana chakatosurwa. Kana chakasurwa, it's a bowl of starch. That's all you have.
Okay.
And it's basically, yeah, you know, it's for animals. It's unfortunate, but this is the reality on the ground. Okay. So I look to such a time when we are going as Africans to replace all these unhealthy starch-based foods and put instead grains that have antioxidants and high in mineral salts and proteins and essential amino acids and others like buckwheat. Yeah. So we need to change this. We need to have a new paradigm shift with regard to our health.
Okay. So comparing buckwheat and zhiyo.
No, buckwheat is far above because zhiyo is not a superfood. This one is a superfood.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are learning, guys.
T-shirt print and we print it right. Custom styles bold and bright. For your brand or just for fun. Wear your vibe, we get it done. My colors essay, my design essay. Senorita, she knows verify.
Per hectare, this is 5 hectares.
No.
Huh?
15
hectares.
Yes.
So how many kgs of seed do you use on this one?
Because it's 26 kgs per hectare. So it's 26 times 15. Okay. That's the total seed that was needed. 26 yes, yeah. 26 kg times 15. 390 kilograms of seed was needed there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe in terms of labor, vanhu vakashanda
two. We have the tractor driver, and then on the spreading, we so when you're planting, you can use a Vicon, tractor Vicon, the one that is used to spread fertilizer.
Okay.
The one that is used to spread fertilizer mechanically by tractor. It's a tractor drone. Or you can use the hand. Yes, as we use the hand here.
Okay.
Use the hand. This guy is expert.
Okay.
Saying that these are the guys who did the spreading.
Okay.
And you can see it's almost like evenly distributed. Yeah.
Just like this.
Yeah. Just spreading.
Okay.
Just spreading. So you can use the hand or you can use tractor Vicon.
Okay.
Like my friend next door, we use the tractor Vicon to spread.
Okay.
Yes.
You planted one day?
No. And we did this over I think about a week, 5 days. 5
Okay.
days thereabouts. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one woman. So woman.
There were 3 people. 3 people did this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then after that, no weeding.
No weeding. Yeah, that's the most important aspect.
Yeah.
So people don't want, you know, to supply the weeding labor for in agriculture. Yeah, that's why there was a huge gap, and then entrance of herbicides.
Yeah.
Talk about maize and other crops. Herbicides were then introduced, but herbicides have their own what challenges. Yeah. So, but muno much buckwheat, the major advantage in buckwheat, if you spread it evenly, it has a hormone that discourages weeds from growing underneath it.
Oh, it's a hormone in it.
Yes, which discourages weeds from. You can see with the number. Yeah, no weeds. Completely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it's just because its population is greater than.
Yes, that is an addition, but it also has a hormone which discourages weeds from growing underneath it. Yeah. Yes. So that means you don't need weeding. Unless you sparsely distribute your crop, then weeds can actually germinate and grow. But the other thing about buckwheat is that inokurumidza kukura. Imagine in 3 to 4 days you germinate. That will germinate. So you germinate very fast. Like ukagadzira munda wako zvakanaka. What is important is kurima munda wako in such a manner yekuti masara musina sora makachena kuti mbu wapedza kumurima. Unoona urima negejo wodhiska. Kana kungosenzesa romu wodhiska zvaazvo kuti sora rese radini raenda pasi pevhu kana kuti hamuna kana sora. Wadaro spread the crop yako, you are done. Because the crop inokura very fast, germinate 2 to 4 days. That will germinate. And the kukura kwacho inoita very fast. 3 weeks inenge yatotanga kuita flower. So buckwheat flower ichiri diki ichiri about this size, maybe 10 centimeters or so. Yakutotanga kutobuda zvimaruwa. Yokura yakutone zvimaruwa kudaro.
So you see.
And ona iri kumba in 4 weeks. But yatoti mpu.
4 weeks.
Yeah, those I need.
1 month.
Yes, 1 month. So inotanga kuflower in 3 weeks actually. Yeah. So I want to encourage people to just take a sample. Maybe if study the crop first before you maybe want to do it big commercially.
Okay.
Take just maybe a kg or half a kg or even less. Or even put a bed at home, even in town, even in 1 square meter bed.
Okay.
Just put a little, a few grains of seed there and see it grow. You'll be amazed at this crop.
Okay.
I'm a scientist myself, and I'm a Christian scientist. I believe that God did an amazing job in creation. He created many billions and billions of different types of crops. Of course, sin has made many of these crops to be wiped out from the face of the earth. But we still have, and buckwheat is one of the crops that had gone. Imagine, had I not decided to reproduce those few grains that I stumbled upon, we would not be having buckwheat.
Sure.
You see, so God created crops that are amazing. That's why I was saying, Africans are not paying. Baba unopererwa, baba vanendebvu vanopererwa pamusha so kutosvika topa vana chii mari voiona kupi vapererwa baba because vashaya basa vatsvaga basa vakashaya undonzungaira no haufaniri kupererwa. It's infinite. The possibilities are infinite as God himself is infinite. Okay. There's so much. Andikona kuti buckwheat yandorema ndichanokuratidza patiri kuenda kumbako cassava. You're going to be amazed. You're going to record manigre cassava. So hatifani kupererwa. Macrops ariko akaiswa naMwari ekuti we can live pretty. So unoona kuti basa rauri kuda chete panapa ndiri kuprepare land yako kurima nekudhiska wodyara. Next time wakuya kuzoharvest.
And I think even to smallholder farmers, land preparation is not a problem. But when it comes to weeding,
weeding ndio yabasira. Of course, weeding yagara itori a problem. Weeding, I don't want.
So that's in Mugari, but I think so now it means
weeding. I also don't want weeding. Yeah. I really. Ndosaka ndichirima macrops akaita se buckwheat, cassava. nema fruit trees. Yeah.
Okay.
And because I'm no weeding there, you know, weeding I don't want that. Okay. But so here's a crop that can answer to your needs, and it's a high value crop. It's a superfood. Its demand is high. And what is the more? This plant paunotenga seed, urikutenga ka one. Auchatenga futi seed.
Okay.
Because it's an open pollinated variety. So seed yako ipapa ndo pakutora futi seed ipapa. Tunodyara next.
Quality
yeah, this one, yeah, because inoita futi cross pollination. Remember God, you know that musanyengedzwe nema scientists. Abe scientists as well. Sanyengedzwe nema scientists kuti anzi hey ninge ruza power. You know, many people kapasi panapa vanomanikidza, especially vanhu vasina kuita opportunity yekudzidza science ka vanobelieve hook, line and sinker zvinhu zvese zvinotaurwa namunhu anoziti scientist kana kuti doctor. You know, inini I don't do that.
Okay.
What's on? Vanhu vanonyengedzwa vachizoti musadyara chibage chenyu chemudura chinobva chadai chino, because icho chavakauchika ivo vakaita kuti second generation yacho inenge ichiruza power, but vana hakiri king vataita kudhara vaimbongoona vachiruza power. Handiri kuzwana. Mwari ane nzira yake iri natural yekuti these people can, I mean these crops can increase their vigor by cross pollination. Iri kurichombo rwizi dzine natural genetic changing mechanisms.
Okay. According to the environment.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's no way they can lose. Andina uzoti ini ndakatanga ne handful 2013. Tikatanga kuirima anditi olombo munhu ataura kuti buckwheat yakaina kuzomera chichi kana kuti haina kuzobereka yakurimwa all over Zimbabwe iramba ichimera because ndezvaMwari. God is the master scientist. Saka usanyeperwe nemascientist anokuudza kuti hanzi vari kutsvaga mari, pane mari yavo pamahybrids paipa. Because anoona kuti chibage chaichi Mwari akataura inzwa da kuti uteerere chinhu ichi. Ukavhura Bible Mwari anotaura kuti hanzi unofanira kudya zvinhu zvine mhodzi mukati. Ndo zvichava chikafu chani chako. Iye Mwari aitoziva kuti kana wadya zvine mhodzi uchadyara futi mhodzi yacho iyoyo. Hanoda isu kudya buckwheat ndo futi ratiri kudyara, but iwe chibage chauri kudya hachisi cho chauri kudyara. Kana wakudyara wakunzi chienda
ukana kudya mhodzi dzese dzopera wozochitsvaga dzimwe mbeu futi.
Because chibage unonzi ukadyara chawadyara ichocho uri kudya ndechekudya chete. Kana wakuda seed yekuzodyara you must go somewhere kunotenga seed. Aiwa Mwari akaisa makombe ekuti seed yako yauri kudya iyoyo ndo futi yauri kudyara. So what's the problem? Because I want to go to no, I know those figure the issue of hybrids and what that. Because the criminal has not good science. I know it's perturbing, it's disturbing, it's complex. You know, I don't go to tell and do kuru na mazikokota. No, these seeds can actually continue to proliferate. Tijara totora seeds tojara tokoa imetoinsa kudora kunodya totora futi imwe tichinodyara chienda mberi.
Other question ine vanhu ndeyekuti vanhu vada mbeu. I think vanhu vakabvunza vatoda mbeu. Are we going to have enough seed for this farming season, 2025 to 2026 farming season?
Yes, we are. This time we have so many farmers who have grown buckwheat, and very soon people are now going to be delivered in June. People will start delivering buckwheat, and we are going to have enough seed. I think.
Okay.
It depends. Of course, if government comes in and says, "Look, we want all smallholder farmers. We want to put this buckwheat in as part of what is this government program as part of smallholder crops, like what is happening with the maize program. If they put also buckwheat, yes, we will have enough. This I certainly think that this time around we will have enough seed. Although we will not be able to cover, like big commercial farmers who say, I want to do 500 hectares. But I think in the next 2 to 3 years, we'll then have enough seed for the nation.
Okay.
But it depends on the uptake of buckwheat. Many people are still skeptical. Surely those people can remain skeptical. I actually wish the people continued to be skeptical, so that I am the only one who is who is growing the crop.
Okay.
And then I mean, like those people who, there are people who come on the group and they're doubting and that. I said, no, those ones, they are the right ones. Just leave them. Just leave those ones. One day they will then realize, yeah. So for me, that's why I find I'm the biggest buckwheat farmer at the moment, because I have the largest hectarage, 120 hectares. No one else has. I know one farmer who has got about 30 hectares, another one about 25 hectares, and so. But I'm the biggest, and because I know the value of the crop, I know where I'm going. But this crop, I tell you. Vanhu vakatanga ngorima votanga kudya sadza rebhakawit, nekudya chingwa chebhakawit, nekudya manoodles ebhakawit, nekudya instant porridge yebhakawit, nekumwa tea yebhakawit,
tea again.
Yes, machidya anoita tea yakanaka yebhakawit, even kudya kuita muriwo futi. You are going to see patinodzokera kufamu kumbako kuti uone kuti tiri kutogadzira tea yebhakawit. It is so low in glycemic. That was diabetic. But I live a normal life. Ratongozita chechango chilebo chekuti ndakadiagnosed with diabetes 2010. But I live a normal life. Even healthier than non-diabetics, because I survive on foods that lower sugar levels in the blood.
Okay.
Yeah. So this one is one of the anti-diabetic foods, buckwheat, because it has a glycemic index of 45, which is very low indeed.
Okay.
Yeah. This is one of the major reasons why I farm buckwheat, because I experienced it on myself. And I know ndika sugar yakawanda ndotoona sugar yangu yatokwira dzimwe nguva inotombosvika 60. So I know for sure I am actually diabetic. But I don't worry about it, because I know how to get it down. Because of the food, because diabetes is a dietary disease, and therefore it needs a dietary solution.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also to new farmers, in terms of prices.
Zimbabwe, let's go, yo. Tiriba wendo famba inenyu when you mlonak. Hit that subscribe, don't miss it. Oh.